What's up, boys and girls? Dynorex here, and welcome back to another brand new video. So you probably saw the title, and I mean, why would you be here if you didn't, read the title? But whatever. I did. I watched the Formula One movie, and well, to say things out loud, it was a good movie. It was a good movie, but well, this part of the video, I will not be spoiling anything. So if you are wondering, well, this video will contain spoilers, but not this particular section. So yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. I would definitely recommend. I would say it's an 8.5 out of 10, to be honest. The only bad part about it, just no spoilers, just vague spoilers. The quote unquote villain of the game, the bad guy, not of the game, I should say, of the movie, is is kind of predictable. And I mean, from the first time they were introduced, I was like, okay, this guy is obviously going to be the bad guy and whatever. But I mean, apart from him, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I wouldn't compare it to Rush, because Rush is like 10 out of 10. Almost, well, in my standards, from my standards, Rush is a 10 out of 10. um, because it's based on a real thing that happened. I would not compare this movie to Rush. I would compare this movie more to Gran Turismo, something that happened in real life, but it's more Hollywoodized. Like for just to say that it's more. It has a lot of Hollywood in it. It's not it's not it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I would really recommend somebody watching it. If you have watched Formula One or motorsports in general, I would suggest, don't think just don't think when you go to watch this movie, because I thought when I was watching this movie, and probably my dumbest decision, because I was watching it from a standpoint where I thought it was going to be more closer to Rush than it's going to be more closer to Gran Turismo. If I Because I watched Gran Turismo when I first watched it without prior knowledge of those particular cars. I mean, I really was into Formula One, but it doesn't really have Formula One kind of things. But looking at the standpoint from like a person who has watched Formula One, I would, if I were to go back and watch this movie again, um I would not use my brain. But yeah, I mean, even if you use your brain, it's a good movie. Like, if you're watching it from a Formula One person's eyes, I would say this is a solid 7 out of 10 movie. It's a good movie. And if you're watching this, not and you're not a Formula One fan, if you are just like a Brad Pitt fan, and you thought, oh hey, Brad Pitt is in this movie, so you know what, I'm gonna watch it. If you thought maybe you saw Top Gun Maverick and you liked like how all the cinematics were done, and the direct you thought, oh wait, this has the same director, I believe. So you probably thought, hey, this movie has the same director, maybe I go watch it. Maybe it will be good. It's a solid 8.5 out of 10. It's a really good movie. So yeah, I would not recommend this movie enough, but it's a great movie. Is it the best? Is it comparable to Rush? Maybe not. Is it better than Gran Turismo? I would say so, because like, I have a bias towards it because it's a Formula One movie, of course. But I would say it's better than Gran Turismo. It's a great movie. It's a really great movie that I would recommend you watching a lot. It's a really good movie. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. Just go watch it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And also something I would like to say: if you are not living under a rock last season, you would have known on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. Apex GP was posting, hey, this one of their drivers won. I believe it was, what race was that? The Mexican Grand Prix. They won the Mexican Grand Prix, and Sunny Hayes won the Mexican Grand Prix, and who was the other guy? Joshua got on the podium because George Russell got disqualified, I believe it was. I don't think he won the race. I'm pretty sure he got onto the podium. I think there was one other race where they said that one of their drivers won. I can't really remember, but just this is not a spoiler, but that's not a part of the movie. That it's just, they fooled us. I was expecting that, and that didn't happen. I was like, okay, that's pretty surprising. So I would say the only really bad part about it is the villain is kind of generic, and also I would like to say the ending is, you know, it's not a really good ending. It's a decent little ending, but it's not the ending that you probably would have thought that this movie was gonna get. So yeah, if you, so now I'm gonna get into spoilers. So if you don't want to get into spoilers, it's time for you guys to click off, go watch the movie, and probably visit this video back after watching the movie, and yeah, I guess so. So yeah, as we're gonna go straight into spoilers then. So I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds to click off if you want to click off and go watch the movie and come back. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now into the spoilers. Now into the real game. First thing I would like to say: if this movie was real life, I would be a Formula One world champion, and I've not touched a go kart in my life. That's that's literally this movie. I mean, I don't really have any other way to say. I mean, it's from a movie standpoint, it's fun. It's a good movie, but when your main character Sonny Hayes is probably the main character, like the main character, when you have a main character that is 50 years old who has not touched a Formula One car in 30 years, they come into you know, a season where there's 9 races left. They're in the back of the grid. 9 races later, they have arguably the fastest car on the grid, and they win a race. Imagine, okay, so just imagine you're for now. So they made memes about this. They still are making memes about this. So you guys already know win number 34, I think it is, or win number 33. I don't know. Hashtag 33 or hashtag 34 that they use for. I believe it's 33. Win number 33 for Fernando Alonso. So basically, they're having memes about you know, POV, you're in 2035. Lewis Hamilton is retired. George Russell is retired. Max Verstappen is retired. And then it cuts to Fernando Alonso still trying to get a race get his third race win. Charles Leclerc still trying to, argue with his engineer or something like that. This is literally him. This is Sonny Hayes. Like this is him. Like he's basically Fernando Alonso. I mean, I don't really know, because looking at a race's standpoint, a 50-year-old can't come into a race in a Formula One calendar. If it was maybe Formula 2 would be fine, or Super Formula even, he would be fine. But you can't just come into Formula 1 9 races later you win a race. That is that if that happens, that would be probably the second quickest time somebody has won a race. I believe Lewis Hamilton won after on his 6th race, and Sonny Hayes won on his 9th race. Not counting everything that happened in probably 1993 and 1992, most likely as well, because I don't think he was a rookie in 1993, according to the movies, or the movie, I should say. But yeah, he's 50 years old. He's Because I don't think in 1993, which probably was his second season, he would be 19 most likely, because I don't think you could have had drivers that are younger than 18 driving a Formula 1 car, and I just don't think that would be possible. So I think he was either 19 when the crash happened, when he had the back surgery or whatever, when his back got broken or whatever. But yeah, he was most likely 19. 30 years later, he would be 49 at the least. Imagine you are you're Joshua. I think his name is Piers. His last name is Piers or something. Imagining you're Josh, right? You're 20 years old or 19, whatever however old he is. You're a young rookie. You have at the least a 49-year-old newcomer teammate who comes and he's under 9 tenths close to you. I'm not gonna lie, that person, Josh, should not be anywhere near the car. If a 49-year-old or a 50-year-old can step into a car, their first lap, do a lap time that's only almost a second away from you, that just that's telling me that you're not a good driver at all. And at the same time, this guy, okay, so the movie, I mean, I like the movie. Again, it's a really good movie, but from a Formula 1 fan, it kind of doesn't make sense. It's kind of like how in Gran Turismo, you had, I believe, in the sim race where the leader was 6 seconds ahead of, what was his, I don't know his name, the main character's name from Gran Turismo. But basically, if you haven't watched the movie, in Gran Turismo they do a race on Gran Turismo, the game, and you basically have to win the race. On the last lap, I think there was only one sector left, and the leader is 6 seconds in front, and somehow on the last corner, the main character gains like 6 seconds, and they win the race, and so he wins the race. So unrealistic like that. So you genuinely can't have a 50-year-old come in and step into a car and be 1 second closer to an actual 20-year-old rookie. Like even if you're a rookie, I don't like genuinely. I don't think you should be anywhere close to that. And I mean, it's unrealistic. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a bad movie. It's just unrealistic. It just wouldn't happen in real life. You have Fernando Alonso, arguably still a quick driver, but I think he's not at his best. Imagine Sonny Hayes winning a race. He's 50 years old, probably 49, 50 years old. He's beating. Not only is he beating, your Sergio Perez's, your Max Verstappen's, Lewis Hamilton is the only one who he hasn't battled, and he's the only one that he didn't really overtake. So yeah, he can't he like this. If he was in, if he was in his prime, this guy would have been more dominant than Max Verstappen was in 2023. This man would not have won a race. Like he would have won a race, and the car in second would be like 2 laps behind him. This guy would have been a menace. He would have been quicker than Senna. He would be quicker than Prost. He would have been quicker than Michael Schumacher. He would have been greater than Lewis Hamilton. This guy would have been the greatest driver of all time. Sonny Hayes would have been the greatest driver of all time. Not the greatest that never was. He would literally be the greatest driver to step into a race car. That guy would have been insane. And also, okay, let's not go on to Sonny Hayes anymore. Let's go back to um let's go back to the more Formula 1 standpoint. So if you it does, so you would think it follows the 2023 calendar because that's where most of it is, and it doesn't, because I believe it goes, there's 9 races left. So Silverstone, and then they go to Budapest, and then they go to, I think, yeah, they go to Monza, where they have the crash with Joshua. And I wouldn't say it's an unrealistic crash because it can happen, but the car just goes straight. If you haven't watched the movie, I mean, this is the spoiler section, but the car basically goes over the barriers and lights onto fire. It's basically like what happened to Nicky Lauda, but outside the track. But so yeah, that happens, and then there's the Dutch Grand Prix, and after the Dutch Grand Prix, I believe I think there are two more races. Oh yeah, it's a Dutch Grand Prix, and then they go to Suzuka, and then they go to Mexico, and at that point, Joshua was able to come back, and then they went to Spa, which was the third last race. Spa was a third last race. The penultimate round was New Vegas or Las Vegas, not New Vegas. I've been playing Fallout a lot. That's why New Vegas is on my mind. But so Las Vegas is the penultimate race. So no Sao Paulo, no Kota, no nothing, and I believe those are the only two races left that were in the on the calendar at that time. But and then they go to Yas Marina, and also in Yas Marina, you can't have a driver qualify. This happened in real life. This happened with Lance Stroll. So what happened with Lance Stroll is he did qualify and then he got out, and then you can't have a Felipe Dragovic sub in for him in the race. You just can't have that happen. And with the movie and the last race, I believe his name is Luca, the substitute driver. He qualifies last, and then Sonny Hayes shows up on race day, and Sonny Hayes drives the car. That would not happen. That genuinely would not happen. You legally can't do that in a race. You can't switch out a driver mid weekend. That would be just that. I don't think there's any rules that say you can do that. So I don't think that would be a legal thing to do. But anyways, so that happens, and then also at the same time in Hungary, where they score their first point, if that happens, there was something that happened in 2008, I believe. It's called Crashgate. And if you haven't heard of it, it's basically where a team manipulate. I can't say that word, but they basically told one of their drivers to crash on purpose, and then the other car, Fernando Alonso, won the race. And basically, what happened after that is the team principal, who was Fabio Muratori at that time, he got a permanent Formula One ban. If that happened, if what happened in the movie happened in real life, the whole team would have been banned from Formula One forever. That wouldn't have happened at all. But yeah, so from looking at whatever happens is I might be a lot of it's a lot of negatives, but it's still a good movie. It's like this is like Drive to Survive. You're hating on it because it doesn't have the right things. Because it's basically just Drive to Survive, to be honest. So if you don't like Drive to Survive, I don't think you would like this movie. But as somebody who does like Drive to Survive quite a lot, and all the storylines they make, even though it's not what has happened, and they're trying to show you something else that happened, and they're trying to fabricate everything, is you would not like this. But if you like Drive to Survive, you would like this. So yeah, anyways, so yeah, like I said, this would be Crashgate 2.0. This would not be tolerated in real life. Also, the penultimate race, Las Vegas, Sonny Hayes starts 20th. There's Lance Stroll behind them. Lance Stroll somehow still ends up being last. And Apex GP was probably the worst car at that time, because they had that old underfloor and stuff like that, or whatever. But somehow Sonny Hayes goes from P20 to, I believe, P4, or yeah, P4. He gains 16 places. That is unheard of. The most, I believe, is Charles Leclerc, who gained like 10 places in Sector 1 or Sector 2, or half a lap, I believe it was, in Abu Dhabi. I think the last year, I think it was. But yeah, it doesn't happen, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That just doesn't happen in real life. But other than that, the movie is great. The movie is great. Sonny Hayes would have definitely be banned forever if he did this stuff in real life. So if you were doubting Charles Leclerc saying, I believe it was Charles Leclerc who said this, but if you were doubting Charles Leclerc saying, "Oh well, it's a lot of Hollywood in there," I was like, okay, okay, Charles, I'll believe it when I see it. I should have believed him. There's a lot of Hollywood in this, and yeah, and I mean, it's still a great movie. I would still give it an 8.5 out of 10. But the Holy Grail, I would say the Mount Rushmore of racing movies, or is it? Yeah, the racing movies. I would still say that Rush is still the best Formula One movie and racing movie by far. Not animated, because Cars would probably be right there, but not including cars and all. I would say Rush is probably the best racing movie that we've ever gotten, most realistic. And then I would say it's what other movies were there? Then I would say it's Ford versus Ferrari, and then I would say Formula One the movie, and then and then probably Gran Turismo on last place. But still, all of them are great movies. I love all of those movies. They're great movies. But I would just say, if you're going to see this movie, I would suggest turning off your brain, because things just don't make sense. Because if you are a 20-year-old rookie and there's a 50-year-old guy who just came in first lap, he was a second behind you, you don't deserve to be in a race car. There you go. I said it. If this movie was real life, I would be a Formula One world champion, and I've stepped in a go kart for maybe twice. I have done two races in a go kart, and that was an indoor go kart. So if this movie was real life, I would have been world champion. But everyone would have been world champion. That would be a better ways to say this. But yeah, anyways, so that was I'm surprised that it has been 20 minutes already. But yeah, that was my I guess reaction to it. I really I loved this movie. To be honest, I was very skeptical going into this movie, but it's a great movie. Just turn off your brain if you go watch it. But yeah, with that, I think that's everything. That's pretty much everything I said that I was going to say. So yeah, if you did like this video, like, share, subscribe, do everything you want to do, and don't forget to hit the notification bell after you do subscribe. But until then, bye.